Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna go over why I think distortion is awesome, and why I'm a fan of distortion. Way back, I was on, particular forums, and they always said clipping and distortion is bad and it should be avoided. And I believed that for a while until I kind of figured out that color was awesome and you want color. So I was kind of got into music production in '07, which is when the electro, open filter, sine, oh not sine, and square and saw waves, and like bumping music was kind of popular, and I like the sound. But I really want to go over why distortion is cool and what it does and what you can do, and in small amounts what it does and what it can do. So basically, if you watch any of my streams, you know that I'm a big fan of distortion, and when I look at a plugin, I always look at the distortion section. I bought a virus because it has a very large distortion section. It has a very large filter saturation section, and you can do lots of fun stuff. So what I want to do is just kind of show you really briefly, and I'll get into this later in another video, but what kind of distortion does. So we have basically a sine wave, and what distortion does is it takes a signal and it clips it, and the circuitry does some magic elf stuff, and so basically it drives it. So I'll show you clipping, and clipping will be the first example. When a particular amplitude or current that's alternating reaches a certain point and it can't go past that certain point, it clips and it stops like a brick wall. So you'll see the sine wave, it gets to the point where the amplitude peak happens and we get a brick wall. Right, that is a brick wall. So we turned effectively, I did this in my last video, but we turned effectively a sine wave into a square wave. So I was like, so there's that one. And we have fold back, which is the same thing, but it doesn't clip it. It takes the peak that's cut off and then flips it upside down. So you'll see that now. See, it takes it and flips it. There, I'll freeze it. So typically this sine wave would happen and it would go up. This would be flipped up, but it's kind of mirrored, and it's a magical way how they do this. It's mirrored down. So now you get an extra kind of harmonic, right? And that's neat. So that's neat. So that got me thinking, and what I thought was I can take, because that's basically kind of creating another sine wave. So it got me thinking, okay, well, if I take this and I select clip, or we'll go fold back. If I select that and it's a saw wave and it's kind of boring, what I can do is saturate it a bit, and it'll create some nice sine overtones. So then you have that. So I've effectively morphed a triangle wave, that with a sine wave. It's folding back. So now I have a bump and bass line, and without it. And I did that with, I'll turn mono mode on. I turned that, I was trying to do that with extreme forms of compression, and I was trying to do that with all that fun stuff, and I never thought, oh, let's kind of figure it out. you know. And it's I got into it because I got into electronics. I have a station next to me, and what you do is you take a sine wave and you kind of alter that signal, and yeah, it worked. From that to and it adds some nice kind of analog components to it. Instead of a straight saw, distort it. And we have some nice sine wave pressure without even adding a sine wave. That's a single voice, and that kind of blew my mind a couple years ago. But anyway, that's the trick to, distortion and bass lines, adding bass. Anyway, take care. Hope you learned something.